Sonia, the vibrant and ever-cheerful branch manager of one of the most prestigious banks in the country, is a beacon of warmth and positivity. As the last child of 5, she grew up in a loving household that nurtured a naturally friendly and down-to-earth personality. A graduate of a renowned university, Sonia's intelligence and charisma quickly earned her a reputation as one of the most capable leaders in the banking sector. Despite a high-ranking position, she remains remarkably approachable, always ready to lend a listening ear and offer genuine support to colleagues and clients. Her infectious laughter and bright energy have a way of dissolving tension, making even the most stressed customers leave her office with a smile. Sonia's kindness extends far beyond the walls of her workplace. Her accommodating and hospitable nature makes her a favorite among her peers, and she treats everyone with the utmost respect regardless of their status or background. Unlike many in professional circles, she avoids gossip or speaking ill of others, choosing instead to uplift and inspire those around her. Whether it is a colleague facing work pressure or a stranger burdened with personal struggles, Sonia has a unique ability to make people feel valued and at ease. Her life is a testament to the power of positivity, proving that success and kindness can go hand in hand. Sonia had always been independent, prioritizing her career over everything else. At 28, she remained unbothered about marriage, often telling suitors that it wasn't the right time. Her mother, however, grew increasingly worried, especially after Sonia's father passed away a few years earlier. But Sonia never slowed down. Her job as a branch manager kept her occupied, leaving little room for socializing or relationships. She poured herself into her work, determined to build a name for herself. 2 days before her 30th birthday, while reviewing reports in her office, she suddenly noticed her vision becoming blurry. Thinking she just needed water, she stood up from her seat, but immediately collapsed to the floor. Her scream startled her colleagues, who rushed to her office. Clutching her face, she kept crying out, "My eyes, my eyes." Panic spread through the room as she told them she couldn't see anything. Not their faces, not the walls, nothing. They asked her to sit and calm down, but she kept shouting in distress, insisting that everything had gone dark. Sonia was rushed to the hospital, where a series of tests confirmed that she had gone completely blind due to glaucoma. The optician, after reviewing her case, questioned why she had not taken the necessary steps after her initial diagnosis to prevent the condition from worsening. Shocked and confused, Sonia wept bitterly, insisting that she had never been diagnosed with any eye issue before. The revelation hit her like a thunderbolt. The doctor, with a solemn expression, informed her and her colleagues that there was nothing medical science could do to reverse the blindness. It was permanent unless God intervened. At that moment, Sonia felt her world shatter. Her once bright future, filled with ambition and career growth, suddenly seemed lost in an endless night. Her colleagues, heartbroken and unsure of how to console her, took her home. As soon as her mother saw her approaching, she rushed outside, concern written all over her face. "Hope all is well?" she asked anxiously. But when she was told what had happened, she let out a piercing scream, falling to her knees in anguish. "My enemies are at work. They are not happy that my daughter has been taking good care of me. They want me to suffer," she wailed uncontrollably. Sonia, hearing her mother's cries, broke down even more, sobbing in despair. The pain was unbearable for both mother and daughter as they clung to each other, drowning in sorrow, uncertain of what the future now held. Sonia, once the lively and cheerful soul who brought joy to everyone around her, had become a shadow of herself. She could do nothing without assistance, relying entirely on others to move, eat, and even dress. Each day and night, she wept bitterly, questioning who she had wronged to deserve such a cruel fate. Her mother, unable to bear seeing her daughter in such despair, took her to countless places in search of a miracle. Hospitals, traditional healers, and prayer grounds, where they spent months fasting and praying, yet nothing changed. Sonia's mother, too, wept every night, asking God why he had allowed such a tragedy to befall the one child who had been her greatest joy. With no income coming in after Sonia lost her job, they struggled to survive. Eventually, her mother had no choice but to sell off some of their properties to sustain them. By the time Sonia turned 39, hope had almost faded. One day, their neighbor, Mama Ibuka, visited and invited Sonia's mother to a 7-day program at her church. At first, she refused, dismissing it with a sigh. When Mama Ibuka left, she picked up the flyer and scoffed. If powerful men of God with big titles couldn't help my daughter, what can this small boy, who isn't even a pastor but just a brother, do? She muttered to herself, but after much thought, she decided to attend. On the 3rd night of the program, as they returned home, Sonia's mother suddenly fell ill, burning with a high fever. Seeing her mother in pain, Sonia broke down, crying to God to take her life instead. Her mother was the only one who had ever truly cared for her. However, by morning, something unexpected happened. Her mother's health miraculously returned to normal, and she was strong enough to assist Sonia back to the church for the 4th day of the program. As the prayer session intensified, the guest minister, Brother Matthew, suddenly spotted Sonia among the congregation. His gaze lingered on her for a moment before he signaled one of the ushers to bring her forward. But before the ushers could act, Sonia's mother, eager and hopeful, quickly led her daughter to the front herself. As they stood before the minister, an unusual silence filled the atmosphere. Brother Matthew simply stared at Sonia for what felt like an eternity. The longer he remained silent, the more restless Sonia's mother became. She shifted uncomfortably. Her mind reasoned with thoughts. Why is this so-called man of God just tiring? She wondered. Is this why he called her out? Then a thought struck her heart. Could he be a flirt? She concluded bitterly, her frustration mounting. But to her surprise, Brother Matthew neither touched Sonia nor prayed for her. Instead, he calmly turned to them and said, "Please, I would like to see both of you immediately after the service in the resident pastor's office." This unexpected request left Sonia's mother even more puzzled. She had attended numerous deliverance sections before, and every time the ministers prayed immediately. Why was this different? Doubt crept into her heart, but with no other choice, she nodded in agreement. As she led Sonia back to their seat, 1,000 thoughts clouded her mind, unsure of what to expect after the service. After the service, Sonia and her mother made their way to Brother Matthew's office as instructed. However, upon arrival, they found the resident pastor deep in prayer with him. Out of respect, they waited outside until the section ended. Once they were called in, just as they were about to sit, Brother Matthew unexpectedly turned to Sonia and asked her to excuse them. He signaled for one of the ushers to take her outside, leaving only him and her mother alone in the office. Sonia's mother, now curious, yet slightly uneasy, sat down, watching him closely. Brother Matthew wasted no time. He looked directly into her eyes and asked, "What is your relationship with that lady?" Without hesitation, she responded, "She's my daughter." But his next words sent a chill down her spine. "Then why are you punishing that poor lady?" he asked sternly. Sonia's mother was taken aback. Confused, she furrowed her brows. "I don't understand what you are saying," she muttered. But Brother Matthew shook his head. "Don't pretend," he said. "The Spirit of God has revealed to me that you know exactly what happened to your daughter." At that moment, a sinister smile crept onto Sonia's mother's face. She looked down, nodded slowly, and chuckled. "Brother Matthew, pretend you never saw anything," she whispered coldly. "Sonia is my daughter, and I have the right to do whatever I want with her." Her voice grew harsher as she leaned forward, warning him, "Stay out of my business. I have killed those who interfered before. Some went mad. You will be no different." She stood uprightly, ready to storm out of the office. But before she could take another step, Brother Matthew raised his voice in prayer. In the name of Jesus, I decree, let fire from above fall upon you now. Instantly, a mighty force struck Sonia's mother. She let out a piercing scream as she fell to the ground. Writhing in pain, her cries grew louder, drawing the attention of people outside. Within moments, curious church members and leaders rushed into the office, shocked by what they saw. Sonia's mother, trembling violently, suddenly shouted, "I will confess, I will confess." The room fell silent as everyone waited for the truth to be revealed. As Sonia, still blind, struggled to find her way to the office amidst the chaos, she suddenly tripped and fell to the ground. In that instant, a mysterious force swept over her and something like scale dropped from her eyes. Blinking in disbelief, she gasped. Her sight had been restored. Overwhelmed with joy, she jumped to her feet, shouting praises and running towards the office. When she arrived, she found a crowd gathered around her mother, who was still screaming. Rushing forward, she was about to touch her, but Brother Matthew stopped her. "Don't touch her," he cautioned, and then, to everyone's shock, Sonia's mother began a confession. She revealed that in her coven, she had been told that Sonia was destined for greatness and will marry a powerful and a wealthy man who will ultimately bring about her downfall. Out of fear and selfishness, she had manipulated her daughter's mind, making her uninterested in marriage. But when she realized Sonia was still thriving in her career, she conspired with her fellow witches to take her eyesight, believing that a blind woman will never find a husband. Sonia stood frozen, her heart shattering with every word. This was the woman she had loved so dearly, the one she had sacrificed everything for. In disbelief, she pinched herself, hoping this was all a nightmare. But reality struck hard and she collapsed to the floor, wailing uncontrollably. Through her tears, she quickly called her siblings abroad, urging them to listen to their mother's confessions. The revelations continued. Sonia's mother admitted that she had destroyed the lives and homes of anyone who had ever tried to help her daughter. When she was done, Brother Matthew prayed for her, and Sonia took her mother home. But to everyone's horror, the blindness that had been lifted from Sonia had now fallen upon her mother. At home, Sonia ensured that a house help was hired to care for her mother, but the pain of betrayal was too much to bear. Taking some of her belongings, she left the house to find peace and reflect on her life. She was almost 40, no husband, no children, no wealth. She was starting from scratch, and the weight of it all felt suffocating. Yet, deep within her, gratitude stirred. At last, heaven had smiled upon her. A few months later, she received shocking news. Her mother had committed suicide, unable to bear the torment she was going through. Though saddened, Sonia chose to move forward. 8 months later, fate intervened. Her path crossed once again with Brother Matthew. Their bond grew, and within a few months, they got married. Though the scars of the past remain, love and faith carried them forward, and they live happily ever after. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, like, share. God bless you. I love you all.